Hey everyone, welcome back to this daily Sidereal Astrology video with video. So this is for Monday, January 23rd, 2017. I'm Athen, and today what we've got is we've got Venus going into Pisces, so we've got a shift of how we like to connect. Venus is all about how we like to connect to things in our life, whether it's relationships, whether it's the things we enjoy, and so we have a much more receptive and even intuitive and spiritual connection to the things we enjoy to connect to in life. So we have that shift going on here today. We've got Mercury sextiling up to Neptune. So there is, in addition to that Pisces energy, Neptune's very much about this. So now Mercury, our mind, going into a very dreamy and imaginative sphere these next couple days. So it can be very good for intuition, very good for spiritual activities, probably very easygoing, in fact. And as we approach the lowering of energy, this balsamic phase throughout the rest of the week, there is more of that, again, intuitive and receptive energy. So that's definitely the theme of the day. We'll go ahead and take a look at this in terms of what is specifically going on right after we return. All right, so today we've got the moon in Scorpio, adding to this watery sort of energy. So Scorpio is very much about unveiling things, especially when the moon's here. The moon is our emotional body. It's the theme of the day, so there's definitely this deeper connection to things, and that's a great way of working with it. Could be good for transformation, healing, psychology, connecting with others in a vulnerable way, in an open way, and ultimately with life and with ourselves. And that's what Scorpio is all about. Through that, we are really connecting to what matters most, or can be connecting to what matters most, or stripping away all the fears today so we can be free. And that's essentially what Scorpio helps us do. So it's very much in the internal world here today with the moon in Scorpio. In terms of where we're outwardly focused, the sun has been shifting into Capricorn. So our outer self is much more reserved. And I think going into February, certainly increasing in that, much more of a reserved focus, maybe focused on the structures in our life, just seeing things in a way in terms of where we can have a bit of patience and discipline. And I think we all collectively are willing to do that, to a degree with the sun. This is how we're gaining energy at the moment, that prana, that life force, through that slow and steady approach to things, or the reserved approach to things. However it is you're manifesting that. So there's that shift with Venus. Venus is slowly but surely going into Pisces. Relationships shifting into a new way of connecting, unconditional, accepting. Very good for spiritual connections in relationships. Very peaceful and easygoing, in fact, too. So Venus is exalted in Pisces. She does love to be here. It's easy for her, in this case. It's easy for us in relationships to have this more receptive, unconditional approach. And with our values, whatever it might be, asking yourself what it is you value and how you can perhaps be more unconditional about it, or let go, or detach. And that can be very peaceful. We could be enjoying this more receptive approach to things, against spiritual activities, easygoingness, etc. Venus is going to go over Chiron a bit later in the week. So basically what we had with Mars last week, Mars, if you recall, went over Chiron, squared up to Saturn. We are going to have that with Venus. So a sort of retake with that. This be an important week for relationships, important week for values. And so starting off with this Monday, just getting more receptive with it and accepting. All right, so here's the aspect graph. We do have Mercury sextiling up to Neptune. So that easygoingness again, but this is more having to do with our mind and maybe the way we're communicating things, and maybe quite receptive, in fact, in the routine. So we could gain some insights during this, so it's good to listen to that intuition, inner guidance. There could be something new. Again, usually sextiles aren't major, but there's something there. There's something under the current here today about listening and accepting and surrendering and letting go, and all of that being very flowing. And it can be an easygoing day with that, in fact. Maybe the first half with the moon squaring up to Neptune, Maybe it's about just getting that started or having to integrate it. We're in this third quarter phase of the lunar cycle too, which is still about integrating these insights from about a week ago, right? And so there is a bit still of this, having to will ourselves to take action or to do things, but maybe spiritual things, maybe things that do have to do with unconditionality and acceptance. Can be great to challenge ourselves for the first half, but then as the day unfolds, certainly becomes easier, right? We could probably find the routine and all that is flowing quite nicely, or there is just a more willingness to surrender in the everyday sphere of things. All right, so that is the day in a nutshell. Quite straightforward. Mercury sextiling Neptune, this imagination, the mental sphere of things, joins up with Neptune, the planet of imagination, of intuition, of dreaminess even perhaps, of spirituality. And again, very much like that Pisces energy with Venus is shifting into. Of course, we got Mars here too, so we can be getting things done in this way, in the way of exerting the least amount of energy, finding that current of life, and again, listening. So a lot of this very receptive energy at the moment. Venus here certainly emphasizing that with relationships and our values. And the Sun in Capricorn, things are grounded in terms of how we're expressing ourselves and things we're focused on. We could certainly be utilizing that discipline and bigger picture sphere of things. The moon in Scorpio does make it a deep day emotionally, again adding to the watery energy of the Pisces, of the Neptune. But here, in terms of where we can maybe do some acceptance about ourselves, about how we feel, about whatever might come to the forefront, which is often the case with Scorpio. It'll almost unveil a lot of the things that we've hidden or buried within in the past. And, as we do that inner work, the inner acceptance, it can be very freeing, very liberating, and transformative. All right, so I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thank you again for all of your support, and I will see you all on Tuesday. Take care.